So mine is very similar to yours in sort of how it lays out, because yours had Will Clark losing the batting average title in the last series of the season. And my guy actually won the batting title. I am not the biggest Buster Posey fan. I've said that before. I really like him as a player. I thought he
Yeah.
was excellent. Near the end of his career, I thought, there's some times where we needed somebody to hit a home run, and Buster's kind of flailing one out into right center field with not a great swing. But we know that his position, he had a lot of injuries, and similarly to Will Clark, his power numbers went down as he got a little bit older. But this season that I'm looking at was one of the all-time greatest seasons in Giants history, I think. 2012. It is the season after this guy tears every possible ligament in his knee, getting drilled because what is that dude's name who took his head off? I forget his name. I try
I've
not to even
forgotten it.
remember who that
Yeah.
dude is, who did
I've
not
forgotten it.
slide at home and decided that he was going
Yeah.
to play football instead of baseball
Right.
in a normal regular season game that wasn't even that important. It was one of 162 games. Buster Posey out for the season. He only played 45 games in 2011, and that's after the Giants' first World Series championship in San Francisco, which was Buster Posey's rookie year. So he misses the rest of the 100 and some odd game season, and he's just rehabilitating this really torn up knee. Now, in most cases, when you tear up your knee in that way, you're probably going to miss a full calendar year, maybe even more. So that happens in May. Buster's ready by opening day of the following year.
That's
Now
crazy.
he is only 25 years old, so the body is healing pretty quickly there as a young man. But he goes on to play 148 games, and 610 ABs, 24 jacks, 103 RBI, 336 batting average, 957 OPS, which is ridiculous in the sort of the non-steroid time of baseball. That is upper echelon stuff. He wins the MVP, the only MVP of his career, and really the only time he was in the top 5 of the MVP. He was he finished 11th in the MVP voting his rookie year.
Did he? Oh my gosh.
How? I don't understand that one.
In 108 games.
Yeah. So the following year, 2013, the Giants are not good. He's finishes 20th in the MVP voting. The 2014, they win another championship. He finishes 6th. He also finished 9th, 14th. And then the last year of his career, which we were so surprised that he retires, he finishes 21st in the MVP. Giants win 107 games in regular season. So Buster's not, but we just saw Joe Mauer get elected into the Hall of Fame, and I think he paved the way for Buster to also get into the Hall of Fame. Buster, obviously, with the 3 World Series titles, should kind of be higher than Joe Mauer, but Joe Mauer had some crazy hitting seasons in his early career as a Minnesota Twins catcher.
Yeah.
But the reason I think I picked this one, obviously they win the World Series. They come back in St. Louis, and then they go into, they have that Detroit series where Detroit's heavily favored. Everybody picks Detroit except for maybe one of the media. It was 30-1 or something like that when they're predicting the World Series. But also, I did get a chance to attend Game 1, which is the Pablo Sandoval 3 home run game where Justin Verlander, you just see him mouthing just in disbelief that Pablo continues to go deep on him. So that season in of itself is pretty magical if you think about it. The way that they came back, instance against Cincinnati down 2-0. The way that they came back down 3-1 against St. Louis. You had Rally Zito, you had Rally Enchiladas. That was a pretty special season. They
Yeah.
were, probably I thought I would say it was probably their best out of the teams in that year, but they kind of underperformed in the playoffs a little bit. I thought they should have done a little bit better, but they came back to win, so that was kind of important. But I think that is my number one because they won the World Series. I didn't have to see them, lose some of these games. But number two to me, if I was to pick a season and not worry about the postseason, it would have been 93 Bonds because that was like something we'd never seen in our life as Giants fans, right?
Right.
It was just unbelievable to have the single best player offensively and defensively and speed and like all eyes on us. Like just because he came to the Giants, like all of a sudden we were like a national team that everyone wanted to keep their eye on, whether they liked us or they hated us. That was a moment. And Barry's
Yeah.
entire stay with the Giants was kind of like that. So you just felt like, man, it's us against the world. And this was not that. This was, I think, where we were kind of like a little bit like the dandy because some of the players that we had. But I think, yeah, that's the season. As much as I would have loved to take a Brandon Belt season, but Buster was the man back then, and you kind of have to go with that. So that's mine. That is Buster Posey 2012.